Howdy YouTube, I'm back, and today we're going to talk about, well, a T400 with Libreboot and with a full disk encryption setup, including /boot. We will be showing some of the build footage and summarizing some of the, difficulties I encountered with creating the setup. But essentially, on talking about build, the flash chip lives under this kind of infernal magnesium bar, which I'm sure is structural, but it means disassembling almost the entire laptop is necessary for Libreboot. Let's talk a little bit about the T400, then get on to full disk encryption. So the T400 is a core boot and Libreboot compatible laptop that has either a 1280 by 800 display, which is probably going to be the most common, or a 1440 by 900 display. It has the older ThinkPad features, nice keyboard, good track point. Pretty much, it's an older ThinkPad. It also comes with the Core 2 Duo, but you can upgrade it to 8 GB of RAM. Specifically, the processor is swappable, and although I haven't tried it, supposedly the quad-core mod that I did on the T500 might work on the T400, but the motherboards are a little bit different, and I haven't tried it. One of the main reasons I haven't made many videos on the T400 is for my personal usage. It kind of fits between the category of I use T500s or even like T420s, but they're too big for my taste in terms of carrying around. I'm reading this early summary of this ripped off an X series. So I mainly have covered X series ThinkPads in the past, but either way, another issue with that is, and this is kind of an issue with older ThinkPads in general, it's hard to find the old stock OEM batteries. The X200 and X201 are so similar that the old stock OEM batteries will actually not arrive dead on arrival, although that may have changed in the last 6 months since I bought one. But pretty much the owner of this ThinkPad, since it isn't actually my unit, actually found a decent aftermarket battery for the system. I might put a link in the description to that, but the main point is it holds a reasonable amount of charge. It is a 9-cell, but 4 to 6 hours was what I was getting, although that might depend on processor and configuration and what you're actually doing on the computer. So, even screen brightness would make a difference, but overall, I'm actually kind of liking it, and I have parts to build possibly one or another later on. Okay, so one other thing before we get into encryption. There's a slight problem with Libreboot on, I think it's Bordervisions, not different DVD drives, with encryption booting really slow or not at all with a DVD drive installed. But I tried mine with 4, and I used these to actually burn the BIOS upgrade software disk, so I really doubt the DVD drives are having any issues. So I most likely think it's a Bordervision issue or something similar to that nature. Rather than that, let's get to talking about encryption. Okay, so as a preface, I probably should state this is my first time dealing with full disk encryption. So if I get anything wrong, be free to tell me in the comments. But honestly, I ended up spending more time messing around with graphical installers to get them to accept a boot volume on an encrypted PV with a logical volume manager. So it sounds complicated, but essentially your logical volume manager contains your logical volume, so you'd have like root, swap, and boot mounted there. And that's on an encrypted physical volume, so everything else is encrypted. Oh, I should state, this isn't my computer I'm working on, actually. So, and it came to me with Parent Linux, and in case you're listening, I do have a lot of extra older hard disks, so it's not like I tried this out all on their SSD. and I asked them if Kali was fine after my initial difficulties. So this kind of created a new goal for me, and it wasn't exactly to create a user script, but to find a workaround for the, graphical installers. So I specifically tested with Kali Linux, and distributions in general that are based off Debian seem to use the same graphical installer. So I can guarantee that those using Arc or Parabola at the moment are probably laughing at me, but I'm okay with it. So I also just tried switching to a terminal after crypto modules were loaded. It kind of ended with a new error. So in the end, I decided I should go with both options. As it turns out, installation scripts are miles easier. It only took about an hour of reading some documentation and then modifying my Bootstrap installation script for Debian to install an encrypted, LVM. So I did make a mistake the first time and ended up having to go through chroot to modify an fstab file, but I did find a solution, and I figured I should share my experience since it does technically work. Although, like I said, it was more complicated. So, in both methods, you end up creating an LVM that is entirely encrypted on a physical volume, and inside you create your logical volumes for at least root and swap, and preferably with a boot, but I ended up going with Parrot Linux at first, then tried Kali, then trying Debian, then trying Debian from 2015. So at this time I was deciding to go with the script. I decided to be a little bit lazy, and then decided to get a little bit more creative with trying to find a graphical user solution. So you just need 3 USB drives, but it does work. And you still have to type in lines in the terminal, but theoretically you might work with gparted, not exactly sure. The only advantage of this is that you don't have to read anything about debootstrap, so if documentation isn't available and they use that standard Debian install script, it'll work. It'll pretty much work on anything with that standard Debian installation graphics user interface thing. Oh god, why am I defending this? It requires 3 USB drives. Anyways, so you boot up on USB drive A, okay? So USB drive A is now at detect disk phase. You plug in USB drive B. So USB drive B is now plugged in. You partition it like you're creating an LVM, just without a boot partition. And that's encrypted. And the boot partition is now your USB stick, right? So you can take your USB stick, boot off of that. I actually did test that. It does boot off the USB stick into your encrypted install. And I guess, well, then you get your live installation of choice and either reformat USB drive A or use USB drive C, which is the testing USB stick, and boot off that. And then you use that one to correct the disk. So hopefully someone will update the, Debian graphical installer or vice versa in terms of creating a, I guess, more plausible and a little bit less crazy sounding workaround. I figured I probably should return their computer at this point. So I really hope you guys have been having a good weekend or week, depending on when I upload this, and I wish you guys all the best. Peace. Okay, one more thing here. So I've just finished editing most of the video, and I realized I don't actually show the computers booting up. So let's fix that. So essentially there is a little bit of hang when you enter in the password, and after that it will eventually load the kernel. But a few things, some of those extra grub messages, for example, I think they're normal, but can be gotten rid of by messing with the grub.cfg, and there's this entire page on grub hardening in the Libreboot documentation. In the future, I'm probably going to do another encryption video, and if you're wondering about the speed, in this case, for running normal applications, it was just A-OK, and you can eliminate the extra passwords that you have to enter. I believe you have to mess with the cryptab file, but I haven't tried that yet, so there's definitely going to be a second encryption video coming out, but I do actually have to return this laptop. So hopefully that's everything. Anyways though, have a good one. Peace.